Did I check the playoff draw? You're damn right I checked the playoff draw. What do you think I'm staring at right now? The playoff draw. I mean, there's 2 playoff draws, all right? And we obviously need to look at and react to both of them because holy playoffs. New Caledonia and Jamaica playing for the right to play DR Congo for a spot at the World Cup. Obviously, Jamaica should probably be the one that's winning. That's got to be Jamaica. New Caledonia lost 3-0 to New Zealand in the Oceania final. Now, granted, all 3 of those goals were scored after the hour. New Caledonia is not as bad as you think they are, but they are still not good enough, I think, to beat Jamaica in a must-win match. Granted, Jamaica has a special amount of bottle in there. Like Jamaica, they bottle so hard. Like genuinely professional bottlers. Suriname beat Bolivia, Iraq beat Suriname, yeah. Probably. I mean, Bolivia is just such a, you have no idea what the hell you're going to get. The elevation's going to determine how good the team's going to be. I struggle to pick Suriname, though, dude. I'm not going to lie. I really struggle to pick Suriname. They were so bad. So, Suriname has played 1 match with the lights on. Like, the really bright lights on them. And it was that match at Guatemala, and they choked so hard. They choked so hard. I mean, DR Congo... Somebody said, I don't think any of these teams should be at the World Cup. These are the last 2 spots that are given at the World Cup. So obviously, they're going to be given to some surprising teams. That being said, DR Congo did knock out Nigeria and Cameroon. So I don't know what else. Yeah, no, I mean, it's more, I mean, if you're looking at the Intercontinental Playoff in a 48-team World Cup, this is the deepest cut of a newly expanded World Cup. So you're going to see teams that you're probably not familiar with being at this level before. But DR Congo in particular has beaten Cameroon and Nigeria as part of their playoff process. I mean, that's earning it, dude. That's earning it. Nigeria sucks now. And yes, part of the reason that people are saying Nigeria sucks is because they did not get to this playoff. Now, Iraq beat UAE and finished ahead of Oman. So, like, there's more of an argument, be like, well, maybe Iraq didn't earn it, but Iraq is literally one of those teams that's on the line. When the World Cup expands, you're like, okay, now Iraq's looking like they could go in. Bolivia finished ahead at Chile, Peru, and Venezuela. That's how they earned their spot here. And Suriname finished ahead of Guatemala and El Salvador to get into this playoff. Both of whom I would have thought were better than Suriname going into that round, so full credit to them. New Caledonia beat everybody in Oceania not named New Zealand. That's how they earned their ticket. And Jamaica finished ahead of Trinidad and Tobago in order to earn this spot, but lost to Curacao. Anyways, chat, who comes out of this group? It's probably basically Jamaica or DR Congo. Who is going to the World Cup? I'm going to say, hard to bet against the doctor here. Hard to bet against the doctor. Hard to bet against the doctor. What are you going to do? You're going to bet against the doctor? The doctor is in. I think Dr. Congo's looking good. I think they're the best team in this playoff. I would have picked them against any one of these teams. Dr. Congo. Paging Dr. Congo. Yeah, YouTube and Twitch are in agreement. Dr. Congo over Jamaica, likely in the playoff final. On the other side, Bolivia, Suriname, and Iraq. Keep in mind, Iraq only has to play 1 match. Bolivia and Suriname have to play 2. Suriname bottled a chance at automatic qualification. Iraq bottled a chance at automatic qualification. Bolivia backdoored a playoff spot on the last day. They were never close to actually making it to the World Cup. Bolivia's not at home. This is not a home match, chat. This is neutral site. This is neutral site. I hate to be boring, chat. I hate to be boring. I gotta go Iraq here. It's in Guadalajara and Monterrey. Guadalajara and Monterrey are the host cities. Let me see if I can tell you where this Bolivia match is occurring. I don't know if it's been booked yet, whether they're playing in Guadalajara or Monterrey. I don't know if it's been booked, whether they're playing in Guadalajara or Monterrey. I don't know. If they're playing in Guadalajara, maybe Bolivia's got a better chance. But if they're playing in Monterrey, it's kind of negligible altitude. New Caledonia! Who is their best player? Current squad. They have one guy on Unireyes Lobosia. Their U17 keeper, I have heard tell of their U17 goalkeeper being a god. Yeah, I mean, they really just, they don't have anybody that's playing at a professional level. This is at best a semi-pro national team. Would New Caledonia be the worst team ever to World Cup? Yes, they would. I think Suriname would be as well. If you're just going off world ranking, Suriname's 123rd in the world. They would be the lowest ranked team to ever make the World Cup. Yun Reyes Labosia's pro level. Okay, they've got some pro guys then. I'm sure a couple of those French league guys are at least at a high semi-pro level. But yeah, Suriname's 123, New Caledonia's 142 in the world rankings. Now, I think Bolivia is somewhere in the 80s. Iraq and Congo are both like 60-ish, and Jamaica's 70-ish. Which is embarrassingly low for Jamaica, by the way. After the U.S.'s struggles, have they dropped out of the top 20? The U.S. has actually won 4 of their last 5, including a blowout win against Uruguay, and has climbed to 14th in the world rankings. So the U.S. is not struggling anymore. Did Z talk about the European playoffs? No, we're kind of headed there now. But you're right, Jamaica doesn't have... I'm taking Iraq and DR Congo, dude. I would love for Suriname to be a team ranked outside the top 120 in the world going to the World Cup. That would be so fun. The story of Bolivia going would be amazing. Bolivia's only been to 1 World Cup ever. They're constantly a punching bag. If they could go, that'd be really cool for them. I think Iraq is probably the best team here. If Turkey doesn't make it, they're cooked. I don't know. European playoff. Let's look at that now. All right. Path A is Wales, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Italy, Northern Ireland, and then a final on March 26th and March 31st. Yeah, tough draw for Northern Ireland, obviously. They got the nuclear bomb out of the first group, which is the Italians. So naturally, Northern Ireland's going to win. That's just how it works. I don't make the rules, chat. I don't make the rules. Naturally, Northern Ireland's winning that game. Tell me that's not possible. Now, Wales looked amazing against North Macedonia. Bosnia and Herzegovina gave Austria a real scare. I think this is a harder group than it looks. I think Wales and Bosnia and Herzegovina are playing way better than you'd think they are. And so whoever Italy's going against, making the bold assumption that Italy can get by Northern Ireland here, it is going to be a rock fight. I think Wales and Bosnia and Herzegovina can reasonably expect to give Italy a real game. Now, I think you're kind of nuts if you don't pick Italy here. I do think you're kind of insane if you don't pick Italy, but Wales is probably the best shot. Wales was also at the last World Cup, right? Their first World Cup in over 50 years. They've got the World Cup taste for it. Bosnia and Herzegovina was at 2018 or 2014, I can't remember. But surely Italy. Italy did not get hit with like a overly hard draw, that's for sure. B is the really interesting one to me. I think these are 4 teams that are all very, very close to each other. I think you've got Ukraine and Sweden. Sweden was just terrible, but they got to feel like they've got new life, having played a terrible qualifying and still being in this draw, and then getting Ukraine. This is a wicked fight. And then Albania is not as talented as Poland, but they are going to show up and just... I mean, Albania is one of those national teams that plays with that extra 10%. You know what I mean? They play with that extra 10% juice out there for the national team. And I think Poland is a team that at times can struggle to score against really obstinate opposition, to break out the big words. I think Poland could have, that could be like a penalty shootout 0-0 or set piece 1-1 type of game. Meanwhile, Ukraine did win a must-win match against Iceland, which really impressed me. I think they're probably better than Sweden based off results coming into this match. But the funny thing is, Sweden's probably the most talented team in this group, particularly on the attacking side. I mean, they've got dudes. They just haven't been able to figure it out, but they're kind of dangerous. It's like when Nigeria got into the African playoff, you're like, well, now that they're here, they're still dangerous, right? Now that they've managed to be here, this is a really interesting group. I have no idea. I really have no idea who's going to come out of this. I think the safe pick would be Poland. I think that's probably the most reliable pick based off results and talent. But I wouldn't be stunned if any of these 4 teams managed to grab the World Cup spot from this group. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think you're going to end up with 3 great competitive set football back 50-year type matches in this group. Yeah, there's no Northern Ireland. And I mean no disrespect to Northern Ireland, but I think Northern Ireland's a cut below these teams that we're looking at here. Albania knocked out Serbia, right? Ukraine knocked out a very good Iceland team. That way better than they were the last qualifying cycle. Sweden has a ton of talented players, but sucks. And then Poland was at the last World Cup. So definitely a nice These are four teams that should be in a World Cup playoff, right? Like, this is what a World Cup playoff should look like, is four teams at this ability level to get that spot, right? Now look at Path C. This has got to be Turkey. This has to be Turkey. One, I love a little Turkey-Romania showdown, little Mehmed II versus Vlad the Impaler vibe. Romania aren't bad, yeah, but they kind of are. They're a full step below Bosnia and Herzegovina in qualifying. I mean, again, is all of those teams that didn't finish top two in their group but got here because of Nations League, Romania will feel a breath of life, right? A second coming. But Turkey just drew Spain. Turkey made the quarterfinal at the Euros. Turkey has a wave of talent coming up with guys like Can Uzun, right? That make a huge difference. They are significantly better than every other team in this group. Kenan Yildiz, Zeki Shalik. I love Zeki Shalik. I've had Zeki Shalik in Football Manager. Arda Güler's already, I mean, he's their Real Madrid guy. He's their superstar. I'm talking about the other guys on the team that are coming up that are, yeah. Slovakia, hard to know. They did just get smacked by Germany, but they also, I think they beat Germany in the first match of the group, so I really don't know what to expect from them or Kosovo either. Kosovo spent the entire group stage beating Sweden up for no reason. Kosovo's the most surprising team, in my opinion, to have made the playoff. I mean, Kosovo's national team is younger than Curaçao's, dude. And they've assembled a national team that could get them to this point. It's incredibly impressive. But Turkey has been given a cupcake draw. Cupcake. This is, I mean, Romania is... Like, Sweden is the nightmare draw at a pot four. Romania's not that. Slovakia and Kosovo out of pot 2 and 3 is pretty freaking nice. I'm pretty sure Slovakia was the worst team in pot 2 off world ranking. Like, Turkey hasn't been to a World Cup since, what was it? They haven't been to a World Cup since 2002. This has got to be it. Turkey should be there. This has got to be it. And when they do make it, they're going to be a group of death draw out of pot 4. Group of death draw out of pot 4 in the World Cup. Because all of these playoff winners go into pot 4 at the World Cup. Turkey out of pot 4? No, thank you. Or Italy pot 4, yeah. No, dude, because the World Cup draw happens before this playoff. They have to be in pot 4. But you could get Turkey or Italy out of pot 4 at the World Cup. I mean, they haven't decided? I mean, that's the way that it has to be. The draw's in a couple of weeks. This playoff happens in March. At least that's the way it worked at the last World Cup, is the European playoff teams were in pot 4. I know, because the U.S. got one of them in Wales. I remember it very clearly because in the freaking in the World Cup draw, we got England, then we were pot 2, then Iran was pot 3, and then we got a freaking European playoff team in pot 4, and it was Wales. Now the groups are 4. It was 3, but then they switched it back to 4. This was a while ago. So the groups are 4, but there's third place teams out of the groups getting through. USA versus Italy and New Jersey would be hilarious. I think, dude, the crowds at this World Cup are going to be so amazing because of the American diaspora, right? Like, every single country is going to have, like, Kosovo playing in New York would be nuts. Danish media wrote Denmark still has pot 2 if they advance. That doesn't make any sense. You wait for that's just the Danish media not doing their homework or really understand. They were looking at the world rankings without considering the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, if you get out of the playoffs in Europe and you get out of the Intercontinental Playoff, you're automatically pot 4. All playoff teams go to pot 4. That's the way it worked last time, and they have made no announcement that that is changing. So you could get Italy, Turkey, or Denmark out of pot 4. Because the draw happens before the playoff. The draw happens before the playoff. So you're not going to just, like, you have to do the draw before the playoff. Yeah, if the draw is first, it literally can't be any other way. You're not going to do the draw and then Italy gets out of the playoff and you go, wait, hold on. We got to bump these teams down, move these teams over. The pots are different now. And then this is the final group. I mean, Ireland against Czech Republic, who the hell knows what's going to happen in that match, dude? I mean, yeah, like Ireland, Czechia, just full-blown, who the hell knows what's going to happen? Troy Parrott knows. Troy Parrott! Troy Parrott knows. Troy Parrott knows what's going to happen. Ballon d'Or winner Troy Parrott. And then Denmark and North Macedonia. I mean, the way North Macedonia looked against Wales, Denmark has to win that game, which means you got Denmark, especially at home, waiting for either Czechia or Ireland. I mean, here's the thing. If Denmark is playing Ireland, they're going to be getting Scotland PTSD at that point. Like, it's going to be the same vibe. You know, Ireland and Czechia are the home team. Wait, why? Why are they the home team? Denmark's the pot one team. Wouldn't they be at home? Why is the top team the home team for the final? Why? They did a draw. I get that. I'm hearing you. Why? This is the pot one. I'm sorry. That's dumb. The pot one team, the higher seeded team, should be the home team in the final match. That's ridiculous. Like, for example, if Northern Ireland wins, then the winner of this match would be the host. But if Italy wins, they should be the host. Italy's the highest world-ranked team. They've earned the right, via winning the Euros, to be the home team in that final. That's ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense at all. It's incredibly stupid. And I have no idea why they've done that. That's too American. I mean, they seeded the damn draw pots 1 through 4. That was just for the semifinal. Ukraine's actually the pot 1 team here, so that ends up working out for Ukraine. The pot 1 team here is Turkey, so you're telling me Turkey's gonna... Bro, Turkey at Kosovo? Yeah, we're gonna need some more stewards, bro. We're gonna need some more... You got Turkey at Kosovo? We're gonna need some more stewards, dude. Load up the Balkan nonsense. Load it up. Now, okay, is somebody with a degree in my history degree, my concentration was in Ottoman history. Nobody in the Balkans likes Turkey. It does not matter what religion they are. It does not matter what country they're from. Nobody in the Balkans likes Turkey because the Ottoman Empire ruled them for a long time. They also do not like each other. That is true. But they all unify in their dislike for Turkey. Still, absolutely. All right. So my European playoff predictions. Now that I know they're home, Wales, Poland, Turkey, Wales, Poland, Turkey, DR Congo, Iraq, and Denmark. Dang it. I think it's Denmark. I'm sorry. I know it's boring. I'm sorry. I know it's boring. It's not what I'm rooting for. It's what I'm picking. I'm rooting for Ireland. I'm rooting for Suriname, chat. But it's not. I didn't pick chalk. I picked Wales, bro. I picked Wales to beat freaking Italy. What does Italy do if they miss their third straight World Cup? Cry into their beautiful vistas and wonderful food. I don't know.